The Bengals have elevated corner Jalen Davis from the practice squad to the active roster, and I'm super excited for this guy. I'm going to tell you why up next here on No Buts About It. What's up, everyone? My name is Josh Butts, and you're watching No Buts About It. We're going to talk about Jalen Davis. Not a huge name. He's been around the league for a while, but not a lot of people have talked about him. I'm not sure this move is even going to be covered, but this is a guy that I have really liked to watch this year, so I wanted to give him his own video. And before we get into that, make sure you're subscribed. 95% of our regular viewers, meaning you're watching multiple times a month, you guys aren't subscribed, so you're missing stuff, even though we appreciate you guys watching and continuing to watch, and we hope you continue to do that. But I don't want you to miss out anything because I try to post news as much as I can, even though it's hard for me doing this part-time. But without further ado, let's get into Jalen Davis. Who is Jalen Davis? Okay, so Jalen Davis has been with the Cincinnati Bengals since 2020. And I think that's significant and might go overlooked. And I'm going to talk about why here in a minute. But he was originally signed as an undrafted free agent by the Dolphins back in 2018. He then went to the Cardinals for a season in 2019, and he has been with the Bengals since 2020. Now, if you follow the show, you've heard me refer to the 2020 Bengals draft as the draft. That is the draft that the Bengals took Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Logan Wilson, Akeem Adeniji, who was on that Super Bowl O-line. Not necessarily as popular with Bengals fans as those other guys, but he had an impact. Marcus Bailey, another big one who isn't on the team anymore, but had an impact. And Akeem Davis-Gaither would be the other defensive player that I would want to highlight. Now, why is that significant? Well, none of those guys on the defense that we just discussed are on this team anymore. Marcus Bailey's not on any team, to my knowledge. I believe the Colts released him. Akeem Davis-Gaither left in free agency to the Cardinals. And then, obviously, we've talked about Logan Wilson a lot this season. He was traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Still not a trade I'm a huge fan of, but it's what happened. Anyway, so we lost a lot of leaders on defense this past off season or during the season, even in the case of Logan Wilson. And that left a gap. And it left a gap that needed to be filled. The Bengals were looking for that gap to be filled. And Jalen Davis stepped up by all accounts. According to all the sports reporters that I've been following who have been there at practice, they have seen Jalen Davis step up, even though he's not getting the playing time on game day. Apparently, he has been a major mentor for DJ Turner, who has had an outstanding season this year. In my opinion, he should definitely be elected to the Pro Bowl. Just outstanding, underrated defensive player for the Bengals. A big reason that this defense isn't just, complete crap and getting 50 points scored on them every week is the second round pick out of Michigan. And, injuries came on. Cam Taylor-Britt got hurt this year, and Jalen Davis was forced to step up. And in the last 2 weeks that Jalen Davis has played, he has allowed only 3 catches for 16 yards total, and he has made plays as a blitzer. And why is that important? Well, so Bengals fans will remember, and some casual fans who watch the game that aren't necessarily Bengals fans may remember Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton was huge for the Bengals last year in that he was a corner who could blitz, and that was his thing. He wasn't necessarily great in coverage. He wasn't the fastest. He was a little bit older, so the Bengals let him go. He was with the Colts now, but Mike Hilton could blitz. He could create a pass rush from the corner position, and that is what the Bengals have been missing. While this D-line continues to struggle a little bit, they looked fantastic last week against the Ravens. But while they continue to grow and mesh and become the players we need them to be, if you can get a little bit of help from the corner position or one of the DBs without having to drop a safety, that is huge. And that is what Jalen Rivers or not Jalen Rivers. I knew I was going to do that. Jalen Davis gives us. And he did it on Thursday against the Ravens, and he forced a fumble. In fact, in his career of limited games, he actually has 3 forced fumbles in his career and 2 fumble recoveries. He has only played in 59 games in his somewhat long career and only started 1 game. And that was, I believe, against the Ravens. That was this season. So I wanted him to get a chance. I wanted us to have this leader on the field. And I'm not totally unconvinced that isn't what made the difference for this defense. If he's really stepping up and during practice, if he's really kind of telling the players where they need to be, kind of being that leader behind the scenes, I could understand the comfort that brings to some of these younger guys. This is a guy that was there during the Super Bowl. He was there and he watched this defense turn itself around from 2020 to 2021 with Jesse Bates, DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, all those big names that aren't necessarily there or active right now. And Jalen Davis knows what that process looks like. He can talk to guys like Miles Murphy, who is just now kind of coming into his own after a few seasons, and kind of show him where he can continue to grow as a pass rusher, because that is one of Davis's strengths. He can talk to Barrett Carter about tackling, about being in coverage, because Barrett Carter has been taking some angles that aren't great. He's gotten a little bit better at tackling. He was just the Pepsi Zero, whatever, player of the week last week, 2 weeks ago, with 16 tackles, but he still takes some weird angles. And so I think having Jalen Davis out there could be a comforting factor. And I think that is going to go overlooked. He has been with this team longer than any other player on this defense, and that is an underrated trait. He isn't going to be, a starting corner most likely. He probably isn't the future of the franchise, but he can be that coach on the field, because right now the green dot is rookie Barrett Carter, and they need a leader out there who can coach up the team, especially while Trey Hendrickson is hurt. And I think that Jalen Davis can be that guy. He can be a effective athletic backup like what Akeem Davis-Gaither was, but Akeem Davis-Gaither isn't here anymore. So we turned from 59 to 35. And that's why I think this is such an important move. You may not hear his name a whole lot during games, but I expect him to make a difference on the field. And I think that the young defensive stars will appreciate his presence as well. Let me know what you think down below. Is this Jalen Davis move a big deal? Is it not? Do you agree with me? Do you think he's just a nobody? Are you just glad he's getting a shot? Let me know what you think. I'm curious. Remember to like this video. Let me know what you think and subscribe so you don't miss anything else. I appreciate all of you so much. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.